You're watching the NWR Investor Conference. It is November 2020. We have BidEnergy joining us right now. Provides energy spend management services through its cloud-based software platform in Australia, the UK, and the US. It simplifies the complex energy spend management process by using robotic process automation, enabling organizations to have complete control over their energy spend. The company also operates utility bill management platform for water utilities, energy retailers, telcos, and provides utility bill concierge. We have Guy Main with us today. He is the Managing Director of BidEnergy. Guy's career includes senior leadership roles at Foxtel, Virgin, and Optus. Now at the helm of Bid, he leads a talented team to challenge the status quo, supporting global businesses to accurately manage their utility spend lifecycle through unique RPA technology. Over to you, Guy.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for that kind introduction. We've got about 30 minutes together. I will spend a couple of minutes just for those that are new to the story to just talk around what we do and our reason for being, which is very important. So I always like to start with when I introduce Bid. Obviously, as introduced, we are a utility spend management company. So just being very clear on what that means. From a moment a bill is issued by a utility, most of those that we deal with are electricity retailers, but we do other bill types such as gas and water, and I'll talk to some other commodities that we're starting to support. But from a moment those bills are issued all the way through the process of getting those paid, making sure that those bills are accurate. We do deal with very, very large enterprises that deal with thousands of bills. That is our role in terms of utility spend management. I do like to talk about what are the mega trends that we are seeing globally that really drive the importance of our solution in those multi-site enterprises. And really the first is that there is a rise globally in smart meters. And what that means is instead of a dumb meter where you make a monthly read of that meter from one point to another, and from that create a bill, a lot of enterprises now, through the rise of smart meters, are being able to see digitized data in 30-minute increments here in Australia, or even in overseas 15 and 5-minute increments. So really that's a big data moment that these enterprises have the ability to look at their spend across their portfolio of sites and try to take actions in regards to minimizing their energy consumption. So that's the rise of smart meters is only growing globally. They're expecting 900 million smart meters around the world by the mid-2025. And if you think about that big data, that empowers businesses to make a lot of decisions. The second part of that, and the importance or other mega trend in the world that we're seeing is obviously the decarbonisation of energy. As we move away from fossil fuels and get into more green related products created by solar or wind, obviously there's an opportunity there again for multi-sites to manage their portfolio cost far more effectively. And we're seeing that more so lately as the impacts of global warming do present themselves in the global market. We are seeing large multinational multi-sites, so those that operate over many sites, over many countries. They've got a lot of regulations now that are coming to bed in terms of their carbon footprint and how they manage sustainability. And really, if you need to manage that and you need to do that globally, you've got to have access to highly credible data. That data's got to be able to be at your fingertips. It's got to be clear, it's got to be accurate. And obviously, the third point is where we come into the global trend, which is we are a utility spend management company that utilizes a robotic workforce. And that is through robotic data processing, or what is most commonly known for us as robotic process automation. So that's our reason for being. In terms of what do we do with that, for everything that we do, the center of what we do, it's all about data integrity. If we, on the right-hand side there, I talk to advantages for business. If we talk to being a very agile or creating our clients to become very more agile in regards to decision making, data integrity has got to be at the core of everything that we do. And we do that in our platform by accessing, of course, build data through our robotic workforce. So we're able to grab PDF bills, we're able to either collect them through robotic workers, or we can digitize the data off those bills through robotic workers, and be able to make that available in our platform. We look at the contracts for all of our clients that they've signed with utility providers. We look at network tariffs and rates, and we also hold 7 years of historical data. So when I mentioned big data before, our platform is holding a lot of data that is able to be dissected and made available in many different ways for our clients. So we do that through, as I've said down the bottom there, through bill parsing and validation. Obviously, we utilize that data to make sure that bills are accurate and that you're only ever paying the right amount. We manage those bill exceptions all the way through both our robotic workers, but also through a client services team that we have supporting our clients globally. We do then process bills on behalf of our clients, specifically in the US and Canada now. We actually pay bills on behalf of our clients, and we're starting to do that more and more in Australia. We're yet to do that in Europe and the UK, but it's something that we would like to bring to that market. And lastly, of course, we can buy energy, we can buy electricity and gas from a contestable basis in the markets in which we operate. So it is a full bill stream that we manage and a full service stream. And ultimately, what we do for our clients is provide that business agility. We provide that frictionless spend management. So why keep it in-house? Why outsource it? When you can utilize our robotic workforce to do that on your behalf for a substantial cheaper cost than what you would be able to do if you utilized one of our competitors, or indeed tried to do that in-house yourself. In regards to the size of market, we have just over 13.5 million meters now in Australia, obviously with a rollout that is pursuing that ideal of the data through smart meters. Over in the UK, again, a larger market there in terms of 40 million meters under management. And of course, this is only for electricity. These markets are far larger when we start talking about other utilities that we service with electricity, but beyond electricity with gas and water. And of course, in the US, very, very large market, 150 million plus meters in the US. And clearly, these are the areas in which our business is particularly focused on. These geographies provide us substantial scale, and we have been operating in those countries over the last couple of years. And I'll update you shortly in terms of our progress there and what our intentions are. So quick update really on financial year 20, but as we start talking about the first quarter, which I'll touch on just shortly, our strategy remains on track, and that is obviously to stay focused around our enterprise multi-sites that I started this conversation about. But we are starting to permeate new opportunities in regards to our sales channels and really looking to grow our revenue verticals. And that's through large facility management companies who tend to be the gatekeepers of very large multinational enterprise clients, through what we call TPIs, or their third-party intermediaries or energy brokers. They operate here, they operate in the US, but they operate quite strongly in the UK market, where 80% of energy spend is managed by TPIs. So they're a core focal point for us, and are starting to, through our recent deals, starting to act as indirect sales channels for us. And lastly, the big energy retailers or utility retailers, that's where obviously all the bills hang out, and ultimately the bills is how we source our revenue. We charge a fee per bill per month for the services that we offer our multi-sites. But we've started to look to the retailer market to build out our high scale opportunities. And what we're doing for them is providing those energy retailers in multi-geographies the opportunity to digitize their customer interfaces. So where they used to just deal quite singularly in terms of issuing of bills and management of the bills and collection of those bills, through our portals that we've created, and specifically Origin, we can create a very interactive environment for clients of large multi-site clients of energy retailers to actually access their bill stream, be able to run budgets, get more accurate accruals, and just be simply easier to deal with. And that's very important for the energy retailers globally. We've started to accelerate in our core markets. Really, the last full financial year 20 has been very much about growing our footprints, and what I mean by footprints, our capability and our skill set in the new geographies in which we're operating. So the Americas and UK and Europe. We completed that just recently. I will talk to the US more specifically in this presentation to give our stakeholders a bit of an update. But we have been accelerating our growth and making sure that we're ready for the opportunities ahead. Cross-selling for us is very, very important. When I get into the quarterly results coming up in the next 2 slides, I'll talk to how we actually have a land and expand strategy. So we seek new client opportunities. We do have a skilled account servicing team within our core geographies in which we're able to add other verticals and other modules of our core capabilities and therefore grow our revenues and ASR over time. So it's very important to us. On the commodity side, this business started as an energy-related business, hence why the name BidEnergy. But we have been growing our capabilities across new commodities. So it's not just for us about electricity, gas anymore. It's about water, it's about rates, it's about taxes. And in the US, we've got some more recent clients where we're actually managing broadband and telecommunications bills. And I'll talk specifically, as I mentioned, about the US later and explain that further. But, you know, as we grow our business, we obviously have the opportunity to get significant revenue leverage by growing the commodities that we support or the different bill types that we support globally as well. And that's opportunities that we see coming into the future. I've been very pleased about the customer loyalty side of our business. We globally run at a very, very low churn rate. 3 to 3.5%. It's been very consistent over the last number of years. It's great, especially in challenging times that COVID has presented us, to know that we provide a valuable skill set for our clients. So we not only manage their bill stream, we do that cost effectively. We're looking places where they can save. There's peace of mind in knowing that if there is an error in a bill stream, our robots will find out and we'll make sure that that amount is credited back to our client. Further, just through impacts in terms of the markets, we saw a substantial drop in energy tariffs through the early onset of COVID, and we were able to be very agile for a number of our clients to recontract them, and in fact pick up substantial annual savings for a number of these clients in the millions. So we're more than just bills, and the loyalty of our customer base, especially through that time, I think has been a very good signal to the market. Lastly, and more importantly, the business has been focused around the last 6 months in making sure that we have a scalable platform. And we've invested and we continue to invest every year in our R&D into this business. We are now starting to see proof points, especially earlier in the year in the US, but consistently now with Australia and the UK, that we have an opportunity to grow quite substantially in the medium term. So we've done a lot of work around our platform, building out our capabilities in the second 6 months of financial year 20, so that as this market further improves into the second half, that we're there and ready to capture the opportunities. How are we going? Always important. I think in regards to our results over the last 3 quarters, March June and September. I think the graph here really shows you that we've been able to maintain a consistent growth curve. Obviously, it's been challenging out there for everyone. We haven't remained untouched by the global virus, but our business has been very focused around the loyalty of our existing clients, making sure we do more for them. But we've also been consistently growing, and that's very, very important for our future. I don't think you've seen the full capabilities of BID yet. And when I say I don't think, I know you haven't seen our full capabilities yet. We've never had a quarter where I've had all three geographies working in sync. In the March quarter, the US really shone through. You know, we had one salesperson there write almost $500,000 worth of new business, which is an exceptional result and shows you what a market opportunity there is there. When Australia was very quiet in that holiday quarter for us. You know, in the June quarter, the US went completely quiet, and the UK and Australia carried us through. And in the last quarter, which I'll just talk about, again, we're only seeing very early emerging signs of the US market coming back to us. But again, the UK and Australia maintained a very consistent performance. So I think that, you know, I give our business a B+ for the last period. I think we've done very, very well in very challenging times. We've kept a very loyal database of clients, and we've continued that growth. But you know, that growth's not going to keep me happy for the second half. We've got to up our capabilities and get ready to further expand that growth. So in regards to the September quarter, as I mentioned, you know, very much a UK and Australia story. You can see that in terms of our new share of ASR growth, 82% of it came from Australia and UK, with our 18% contribution for the US. But we're putting a lot of plans into our US business at the moment. We're preparing as things died down from the election, hopefully, from obviously COVID-related impacts, that we will be ready to really bounce off the recovery in that market. And you know, we don't probably stay close enough to the COVID impacts here locally. I certainly see it probably more than most with a footprint, because we are dealing with enterprise multi-sites, you know, restaurant, dental chains, things like that. They're obviously been quite impacted by rolling state closures. So very important for us is we know we've seen product market fit in that territory. We know we've done well in terms of that March quarter. And whilst the June and September quarters were light, we're certainly making sure that we're ready to really bounce out in the second half, as I just mentioned. Other highlights, obviously, our meters under management continue to grow, just approaching 160,000. You know, for those listening, that's been a key tracker of ours. You'll start to see us really start talking more about bills under management now as we go into other commodities that don't have a smart meter or a meter. It's difficult for us to highlight meters under management. So start thinking about that as bills under management. And as our SaaS revenue stream comes from charging a fee per bill per month, clearly that's going to give you a good indication of where we're headed. Overall, the business, we have an expected group revenue of 13.5 million, and our ASR continues to grow. I'll just touch on the rebate revenue. Really, the last 18 months that the rebate team in the US have done an exceptional job. That was 2.3 million only 18 months ago in terms of our annualized revenues. So we continue to do well there, and interestingly, you know, we continue to sign up new rebate clients. So whilst I don't expect that we'll get anywhere near that growth again, our team there has been doing a great job. We continue to win new clients with rebates, and it's an important, you know, it's a high margin business for us, just over 70% gross margin. So we'll continue to focus that whilst we really pursue the growth on what's really important to us, which is our utility bill management subscription platform. So where is the focus for this year and this financial year? We're very clear on what our revenue opportunities are. We're very clear on where we need to focus and how we're going to get scale. So when we talk about utility bill management, that's our full service capability, from bill collection all the way through to bill payment, utilizing our trust accounts, buying energy on behalf of our clients. That is always going to be an important part of our business globally. And when you see us report quarterly, we talk to 10, 12, 15, 16 new clients each quarter. I call that our heartbeat. We do manage those particular clients exceptionally well, and we'll always be encouraging our potential clients to obviously take that up. Utility bill portal, well, really that's all about the work we've done, which we've talked about with Origin, our first big energy retailing client, and then followed up in June with Momentum Energy, or Hydro Tasmania, its owner. And really, as I mentioned, we are digitising the energy retailer journey, making available large numbers of bills and half-hourly meter data available to either those multi-site clients themselves or their own energy brokers. If you're an energy broker and you're having to do a 3-year budget plan for your client, you need access to all that data, and you need the historical data. So instead of ringing up a call center and waiting for that to be sent to you, you can now log on through the Origin portal, dive in, grab that data expeditiously. So that's done very well for us. We do have a number of pilots underway in other geographies as well. These are longer sales cycle type deals, but we know there's significant scale in these opportunities. With regards our utility bill concierge, we launched with Xero in just over the last month, which we highlighted in our September period. And really that's a whole new addressable market for us, which is taking our robotic capabilities into the high street and starting to deal with single sites rather than just multi-sites. So early days, quite a significant opportunity for us. For us, whilst the enterprise multi-site and utility portal side of our business is our future, we do see very large addressable markets here from the small business side. So we're going to learn quickly, and you'll start to see us grow that not only just here, but also abroad. And utility rebates, as I just touched on, very important part of our revenue stream, doing very, very well for us, and interestingly, still growing. So that will continue to be the case. Just some highlights, just recently, the work that we did with Origin was recognised through the Digital Utility Awards. We were a winner as Best Customer Innovation for 2020. We're up against actually a lot of energy retailers themselves in Australia. Really great endorsement of what we're doing with energy, with Origin Energy, and how what we do is new, is breaking through, and obviously we'll utilise that win to promote our services globally. Secondly, and as important, was the award by JLL of a Master Services Agreement to initially support one of their global banking clients with our utility bill management services. And this talks to what I spoke about up front, about the importance of sustainability. And this is working with the sustainability division of JLL out of Manchester. So a great win for our UK team. And as you can see, it's expanded us now into 37 new territories. Great to see a dot there on Malta. Never thought I'd be managing bills in Malta. But it shows you what the power of what we do. And what we're seeing is, we do very, very well at the smaller multi-site end when you're dealing with 50, 1,000 sites, where our proposition is extremely competitive and we tend to win more than most. In regards to that mid-market, we find, and when I say mid-market, think of, big brands, people like Woolworths and things like that. That's very, very competitive. We do okay, and we work with some of our brokers in that side of the market, but certainly the incumbents are quite fiercely competitive. But where we're finding real oxygen is up in the tier above, which is in these multinational multi-sites. And these companies have to deal with hundreds and thousands of bills coming in all sorts of territories, you know, and this map is a perfect example of that. Bills out of Paraguay, you know, bills out of Mexico, bills out of, India and China, South Korea. So, you know, that is not an easy undertaking. But when you've got a robotic workforce that both can read bills being issued by an email from an energy retailer, or if they have a portal, we can dive in, our robots can dive in and go and collect those bills. And we can read other types of data like EDI, electronic data feeds. So we become a very compelling proposition. And with this particular client, we were able to show JOL that what was taking 45 days to collect bills, we were able to get down to just 4 or 5 days. So expect us to do a lot more in terms of that particular market. Just a couple of things to wrap up just over the next few minutes. Just the focus on the US. You know, our rebates team, we bought a rebates business there 3.5 years ago. You know, they started to cross-sell into utility bill management. They gave us those very positive signs in the March quarter. We want to up the ante in the US, and I'm pleased well, we announced it last month, but I'm really pleased to talk to Rodney coming on board as our President USA. Rod's a SaaS specialist. He's done this with a UK and an Australian-based SaaS business. He's represented those into the US market, spent quality time on building out those businesses to a very, very successful level. We're lucky that Rodney has chosen us, and I compelled him enough that we had something really exciting for him to consider as his next focus. So he's joined us just over the last couple of weeks, already making an impact. And I really see the second half of US growth really being underpinned by Rod and Ross, who's our Vice President. Great team, and I expect big things in the second half. So why is US important? As I mentioned, 300 million meters for electricity and gas. Very, very large market opportunity for us when that does include small business and residential. So if you want to understand why I spoke about 150 million up front, complete markets 300 million. Very, very big opportunity for us. It's a very fragmented marketplace. Collecting bills is extremely difficult. It's a logistical challenge, so we know our RPA solution can really resonate there. Thirdly, and most importantly, is we don't just tend to get energy and gas bills or electricity and gas bills. We tend to get an outsourcing of the entire accounts payable. So we get 4 or 5 bills per site. So some very large numbers and potential client candidates over there for us. So we've got to invest in the US to really capture that market opportunity. And just trying to keep to time, because you can all read this. This is available on the ASX's presentation. The key for us in that US market is really bringing on some much larger portfolios to really provide solidity to our solution, but also it means for anyone who's looking at us, they can see that we're already dealing with very large clients and global majors. So just lastly, you know, just encapsulating the time ahead, FY21, we've got product market fit in our new territory. So really make sure that we're positioning the business ready to do well out of that early market indications. We do have energy retailer solutions now operating in multi companies, multi jurisdictions. Our JLL win going into 37 countries really shows how that we can access a world market very, very quickly. We've got our TPIs now in the UK acting as indirect sales channels for us, which is extremely positive because previously we've only had a direct sales market method within our business. So we're starting to see them actually chase RFPs and promote us as the engine that underpins the opportunity. Xero, I've spoken about. We want to grow this SME marketplace in multiple jurisdictions. I think from a leadership point of view, with our new CFO coming on, Fionn, he'll be on by the end of the month. We've got Lior, our new General Counsel and Company Secretary, with Rodney and other recent additions, including Marco Miranda, who's our Chief Operating Officer. I really feel like we've got the leadership set for the future. You know, we're starting to be endorsed. When I say endorsed, major global brands are coming to our solution. So that means something. It means that you have something that is viable for very large companies to put their faith and trust in you. And lastly, as I started the discussion, global sustainability, carbon reporting. We're doing a bit of work around electric vehicles now with some of our larger energy retailer clients. To power all those activities up, you've got to have reliable data. The only way to get reliable data and deep data is to have a robotic workforce work for you. That is what our point of difference is. We do provide our partners to become more agile through that very singular point of difference between the competition and us. So that's all I wanted to present today, and I think I've just gone a minute or two over time, but I'll hand back for any questions.
Thanks, Guy. Yeah, just in the interest of time, we'll keep to one question for today. Any others that come through, we'll pass on to Guy to answer in due course. We wanted to know, will companies like powerclub.com.au offering wholesale prices affect BidEnergy at all?
No, I mean, think about what we do. We manage bills. So we don't mind what's on that bill. It can be solar, it can be wind, it can have wholesale outcomes. What we are the source of truth. So think about large companies, global enterprises. For them, they just want accurate, reliable data. It's off your bill. Everyone's going to get bills, and you get all sorts of utility bills. So actually what's on that bill for us is of no concern.
Thank you so much for presenting today, Guy.
All right, thanks very much, and thank you for all the listeners.
Thanks for joining.